Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Who here hasn't heard that before? It has many meanings and a million different ways that can be applied to a lesson or a situation. It does hold a wise message in the finance world, though. But in the finance world, it's simply referred to as diversification. Even though most people never work or be interested in finance, everyone here will have a retirement fund eventually. And one of the main tools people use to manage a retirement fund is a diversification. And everyone should have a simple idea of how these tools are used to manage their own money. My name is Bench. I'm currently a student here at ICU at the College of Business. My major is finance and management. And in part of that, I've read many chapters and been a part of many lectures covering diversification. I will first explain some concepts that will help understand diversification, such as risk and return. Then I will cover how diversification works in lowering risk and higher return. I will also cover different ways you can diversify. Firstly, in order to fully understand what diversification is, we need to cover a few concepts. The Webster's dictionary definition of diversify is, quote, to make diverse or composed of unlike elements, give variety to. In finance, this simply means to put money into several different types of investments, or to simply put your eggs into several different baskets. To make key concepts to understand why diversification is useful investing, we need to understand risk and return. Return is the money that you earn from investment. So return essentially is if you invest $1,000 and you make $100 off that $1,000, that $100 is return. Return is also expressed in percentages. And there are two different types of returns: actual returns and expected returns. Actual returns is the actual amount of money that you plan to make, that you get from that investment, while expected returns is looking forward in the future and what you plan to get, so it's expected. Risk is the chance that your actual return will differ from your expected return, or the chance that you will lose money overall in your investment. For example, if you invest $1,000, you expect to get $250, but you only get $50. That $200 is risk. There are two kinds of risk. Market risk, which is known as systematic risk, is the risk that comes with the overall market. So think of the 2008 recession where the whole market dropped. That's systematic risk. So anything that affects the entire market is systematic risk. Stock-specific risk is the risk that only inherent in one specific company and only affects an individual company. So any scandal or anything that affects a single company without affecting the other companies around, that's stock-specific risk, or firm-specific risk, or unsystematic risk. Now that you have a good grasp on risk and return, let's dive into how diversification protects against risk and increases returns. Diversification minimizes risk while maximizing returns by investing in many different assets, which essentially uses many gainers to cancel out all the losers. So it just uses profits from the majority stocks to cancel out all the stocks that lose money. To help visualize this, we can look at a simple example. This is slide 3, and I got this example from my textbook called Fundamentals of Investing, Valuation Management by Jordan, Miller, and Dolvin. So this example shows stock A returns over 5 years and stock B returns over 5 years, and the returns if you invested equally in both of them over 5 years. So the stock A average is 9%, and the risk over stock A over 5 years is 14.3%. Stock B has an average return of 13% and a risk of 13.5% over 5 years. But if you combine those two, then the new risk of those stocks, both those stocks over the 5 years, is only 2.2%. That makes a big difference. And the return is 11%. So this actually significantly reduced returns on stock A and B, and it increased the return on stock A. On the table in the PowerPoint, you can actually see how through year to year, one stock would counterbalance the loss by the profits of the other stock. Diversification only removes stock-specific risk, while market risk is still prevalent. This example is on slide 4, and this example I also got from my book, Fundamentals of Investing. As you can see, the more stocks you invest in, the more stock-specific risk decreases. But no matter how many stocks you have, stock risk will always stay level. So think of stock systematic risk. So think of systematic risk or market risk as a boat on the ocean. No matter how many stocks you have or how big your boat is, the boat will still move with the ocean. It will go down with the waves and up the waves. So think of this as stock. No matter how many stocks you have in different companies, when the market goes up, your stocks will go up, and as the market goes down, your market will go down. Your stock will go down with the market. So in order to fully diversify, to fully get rid of the stock-specific risk, you need to invest between 20 and 30 different stocks. I also got this example, which is on slide 5 from Fundamentals of Investing, my book. And slide 5 shows that if you only have one risk, or only have one stock, your risk is close to 50%, which makes sense, because if you only have one stock, you have an equal chance of making money or losing money. But if you have two stocks, your risk goes from 50%, or excuse me, if you have 4 stocks, your risk drops from 50% down to 30%. Now, if you reach 30 stocks, your benefit of declining risk plateaus. So you're essentially at 30 stocks, you've got risk of all firm-specific risk, and you're left with about 20% market risk. Now that you have covered how diversifying minimizes risk, let's look at different types of ways we can use this tool. So buying many different stocks is only one way investors use diversification in a portfolio. A portfolio is a wide range of assets that a single person owns. Inside that portfolio, an investor can only buy stocks is one way of diversifying, or you can buy different asset classes to diversify. So what this means is you can buy some bonds and stocks. So you're not only in one asset class, you're in many different asset classes. So you can buy some money in bonds, stocks, land, and gold, and further minimize risk, because the risk of losing money on stocks and risk of losing money on land goes down, because the chances of them both going down at the same time is very low. This all just depends on how much risk the investor is comfortable with. Diversification is used on many different levels to help investors protect their future assets. Through this presentation, I covered 3 different topics. I covered concepts of risk and return, how diversification affects risk and return, and different ways investors diversify. With the idea of diversification, even you can invest like a pro and protect all those eggs people keep talking about.